Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin Hogan and this is my aviation weather observation and METAR analysis presentation. So let's start off with the personal weather that I observed. I put some pictures here. So sky conditions are cloudy. I said probably not VFR. It's kind of hard to tell exactly where the clouds are just because it's just a sky full of clouds. So seeing exactly what stage or how high they are is pretty challenging. But I assume that they're very low. I would have said probably around 4,000 feet. But yeah, then we have visibility. So I thought the visibility was pretty rough today. There was, especially waking up, looking outside, it's kind of hard to see far out. So I was thinking probably not more than six statute miles of visibility. The winds were very strong today. A very cold, strong gust coming, especially on the surface. You could see little plants even swaying. So I was saying probably in the 14 knot range of wind. Then we have temperature. The temperature I was thinking is really cold. I was thinking it was just above freezing, so right around like just above freezing, like 33 Fahrenheit. Just because the snow was melting a little bit, but I thought that the wind was making it feel a lot colder. So, and it's very wet because of how the snow is melting. So I assumed that it would be just above freezing. The precipitation, there's no precipitation today, no snow. There has been a lot of snow, but no snow looks like right now. So, and then we have snow on the ground. So there's possibility of icing. So obviously with snow on the ground, there's definitely a possibility in the clouds getting into ice, bad weather up there. So that was just kind of what I observed. Now let's look at the METAR. So I am in Lynchburg right now. This is the airport. That's me right there. So really close to the METAR where, so the time was 12:54 on this one. This METAR was taken. The winds were at 210 at 10 to 17 knots. The visibility was just at 10 statute miles. The clouds are scattered at 11,000 feet. The temperature is at 2 Celsius, 36 Fahrenheit. Dew point is at 0 Celsius and 32 Fahrenheit. So that was the METAR. Let's just kind of comparison of my personal observation versus the METAR. So the METAR does show better weather than I was expecting. Just with the METAR showing 10 statute miles, I was not expecting it. And I was especially not expecting how high the clouds were. As the clouds were at 11,000 feet, I was thinking that they were way lower than that. The winds, I was kind of right on my prediction. As the winds did feel very gusty, I could have felt that they would be kind of in that 12 to 17 range. And I was kind of right in there. The temperature was warmer on the METAR than expected. So I was thinking it was like right at 33, it was at 36. So not very different, but shows the kind of difference there. Next we have our chart right here. So as you can see, there's precipitation up here. This is a mix of rain and snow. Just right where Virginia is, so right where I am, is what they're predicting. There's a cold front coming in, low pressure up here, very bad weather. And then I also saw that there was turbulence low, so very bad turbulence right in the area, and then icing, just as I predicted to be right in that area. Now let's get to my go, no-go decision. I personally said that this is a no-go decision for me. With there being low turbulence, the winds gusting, the weather that could be coming, it's just not looking too good. I would say no go just because I think it's unpredictable up there, especially with the icing. Let's get to the accuracy. So my accuracy, visually, what I saw outside versus what was actually happening. I think this is kind of proof that what we see outside, I mean, as we're taught as pilots, is the first thing we can look at is go outside and see what the weather is. But that's just the first thing. There's obviously a lot more that's happening and coming that we just don't see. So I think that kind of was really interesting to see. And then the meter showed a lot that I didn't see. Yeah, there was just things that, like, even with how clouds actually were a lot higher than I expected. So it just goes to see that there's a lot that could could be for what's actually going on versus what we visually see. Now let's do role of AI in aviation weather. So AI is obviously it's kind of a newer area. So I would say that it definitely could be integrated. I think that AI is becoming a lot more trustworthy, and I think that the aviation world, I guess, airplanes, airports, and weather, they all could just be upgraded. I personally think they're low tech, so I think that AI could be a very strong way of, upgrading kind of what needs to be upgraded going to the future. However, I do think that the aviation community is very traditional, and I think they have a lot of historical, they want things to be very traditional. So I think that AI would just be a little harder and have a lot of negative criticism from the aviation community. But I still think that it's a very good thing to start integrating, just slower. So let's look at my conclusion. So conclusion is I really think that it's important that weather is taken, just because we never know what the weather's actually doing outside or what's actually coming, and that's proof that we don't know is just by looking outside. But also that AI could very much help us in the future. But yeah, that's my presentation. So thank you so much for listening, and yeah.